Yeah, there it is.
Hello.
Tell you what, it's been ages since I've been on with Miss O'Connor.
Dom, this is rejuvenating me. After a few solo sessions, I get to team up with someone, so this is awesome. I'm really excited.
This, for anyone who doesn't know, this is the original Dream Team. We're the OGs of Adobe Express live streams.
Reunited.
Yeah, I know. It was back at the end of October. That was when we first started. So it's this is a year-long relationship we're into here. This is great.
And it was tens of thousands of pupils since then. That's
Hey, 80,000. We're about to hit 80,000. So there we go. Anyway, I always get told off. I always get told off for too much waffle. Is that true?
I think let the waffle. The waffle's good sometimes. Self-talk.
The waffle's good sometimes. Yeah, I always get told off for too much waffle. So let's get going. And hey, I'm going to give you your first test. Rule number one. Rule number one of Adobe Express live streams. What is rule number one?
Oh no! What is rule number one?
Too long. Rule number one. Rule number one is you can pause us whenever you like. Do you know what? This is actually probably a new rule for you. Actually, probably a new rule for you, because me and you used to we used to give people time and they could catch up and stuff like that. But what I realized was you can just pause us whenever you like.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually matter. You don't have to we don't have to give people time. Just pause us.
If we're going too fast, or we're powering on ahead and you need a little bit more time, pause and then when you're ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because that's the power. Yeah, exactly. So just pause whenever you like. We will be going back and forth. We're going to do an iPad and laptop, desktop, Chromebook session here, because actually what we're doing today is quite similar. So I thought we'd bring the Dream Team back together for this one. But yeah, you'll be able to see the stuff that Nicole's doing. She always shows me up anyway by doing better stuff. So, it's always worth watching. And then, we're just going back and forth. But at any point, if you think, do you know what, I'm getting a little bit far behind, or I need to ask some questions, or the teacher thinks, do you know what, might just be good to just have a minute or two just to get through this little bit. Just pause us. We will stop what we're doing. And then you can press play and we'll go again. So it's dead easy. Rule number two, Nicole, you better not have forgotten this one. What happens if they complete both their challenges?
Oh, well, no, this is a mighty rule. This is, you get to go and email Dom, well, your teacher does, to get some swag. Get yourself some stickers.
Yeah, stickers, notebooks, free stuff. And then if you go and teach other people in your school or, whole school community how to use these kind of things and how to do these tips and tricks using Adobe Express, you get VIP swag. Oh,
yeah. Even more swag. Swag to fill your boots with.
Yeah, exactly. Fill your boots swag. And then what's rule number three?
Have fun.
The rule number three is there is no rule three. There was never a rule three. I always thought there was a rule three, and there's just not. So there you go. Anyway, get told off for waffling at the start. So let's get up some tasty expressness and see what we got going on. Where am I? I've got all sorts of screens going on here at the moment, and it's quite frankly, it's a little bit too much. So where is all my stuff? I think I'm going to need Nicole to waffle for a bit.
Yeah, no worries. Well, what I can add to the stage is...
Hey, where did you get that from? That's the one I'm looking for. I can't find my page anywhere. Hey, I've got it now. I've got it. Right. Lucky she's here, honestly. We'd be lost without her. So it's National Poetry Day. If you need to find this page, you can go to bit.ly/express poetry. And if you need to get it, yeah, she's already there. You need to use the QR code, do what Nicole's doing just there. What you do, Nicole?
Just open up the camera app on your iPad, point it at the screen, and then a little link will appear and you just tap it and go.
Tap it and go. Cool. Yeah. So this page is going to be quite useful today. So if you've got it, that's definitely a help. And if you haven't got it, try and get it. I mean, it's not a disaster if you don't get it. Don't worry about it. But here we go. What are we going to do? Challenge 1, create graphics for the haikus in the doc below. The dock below is this button here, you see. This lovely button here. And if you click that, it'll open up and you'll see a whole load of things that look a little bit like this. There we go. We got all sorts of people in the dock already, which is good. Got some autumn haikus. Is it feeling quite autumnal where you are, Nicole?
It is. It's definitely getting to that time of the year now when I'm like, do we put the heating on in the mornings?
I know.
Like,
I did say that exact same thing this morning. We're both very middle-aged. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be using. So get yourself a little copy of that. And we're making things that look like this thing on the right-hand side. She calls us outside to tumble in crunchy leaves. She's here. Autumn's here. Or this one here, which I put as a little thing. I like his bobble hat. I loved his bobble hat.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
I like the font.
Raindrop.
Hey? That's like very different looking font. I like it.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's one of the recommended. And then challenge 2, you'll learn how to use the recommended fonts in challenge 1. And we're going to create dreamy videos of the autumn haikus. And actually, I put capital A for autumn, and that's naughty because it's not needed.
That's a millennial thing, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's an old habit that dies really hard. You actually don't need them. It's not a proper noun.
Yeah.
Which I'm finding it very hard to break that habit. But anyway, either using your images from challenge 1 or by creating an entirely new style of video. And I've put links to a couple of autumn videos in here. Now, if you're using the iPad app, they'll be very useful to you.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not using the iPad app, you'll be able to get them within Adobe Express. Okay, so there we go. So, I mean, let's stop the waffle. And I'm going to go to Adobe Express, but actually, let's get our iPad friends up and running, shall we? Do you want to show them just to open the app and things like that? Let me go across and stick you. Yeah, she's already done it.
Sure thing. And now see, now you taught me how to do these things. So
Let's get a cup of coffee.
Student has become more competent.
A master, a mistress.
So I'm starting off in the Adobe Express app that looks like this. Used to be the legacy Spark Post, but now it's Adobe Express. So it is packed with loads of fun things inside it. You can sign in and out here. So for example, you can see I'm signed in as a demo account here, but you can sign out and sign in as if you're signed in accidentally to someone else's account from beforehand. Sign out of it and sign in with your own one using the correct school logins that you have.
Cool. Right. So let me go. Hang on, I'll get there. Here we go. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is, oh, it's done it again. My screen is going to be doing this constantly for ages. Right. How am I going to do this again? Let's go to, give me a second. I did tell Nicole that she was going to have to waffle sometimes because every now and again.
Do you know what I'm loving? I can see there beside video, photo, and document, you've got like there's like a new tag on all of those on the desktop version. So I can't wait. I can't wait until some of those features come to the iPad version, hopefully in the next couple of months, so that we can get
the new spanky iPad version is coming before the end of the year. So this is one of the reasons we also thought we'd do a joint session here, because you'll get a glimpse of the kind of things you'll be able to do. Right. Let's get going. I'm going to press the plus here. You can press the plus also on the iPad app. It's kind of similar, really. And I mean, it depends, really. You can kind of choose what you want, but I think I'm going to go for a landscape. And the reason for that is it's going to give me a little bit more space in order to put things like extra little pictures on there, text on there and stuff like that. So, and also it might be quite useful for when we turn it into a video, because a landscape, or 16:9, as it's known, is actually the format for a video. So that's quite useful. Right. Get rid of this little YouTube video thing. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. Look at this. We've got all of our poems here. So what I can do is I can just get my text, get it in there, get it in the right place, just so that we've got it. And then I'll go back to my doc. Right. I'm going to call this Autumn Haiku. There we go. Give it a name, or I should give it a name that's actually spelt correctly. That would be good. Autumn. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is going to go to text on the left-hand side. And this is all very similar on the Express app as well. So, do try and follow along now. But Nicole will give you time to do yours as well. And I just pasted mine in. I just pasted all of that text in. So I copied it from the Google Doc and I pasted it in there. Now it's looking enormous. I'm not happy about that. So let's just grab a corner, bring it down, grab a corner, bring it down. Now you can also stretch out the boxes here. So what I want is I want every line, so the 3 lines on one line. So that's 3 lines on a separate line each. I'm going to put a line break in there, just so that we don't think that Angela Heffer is actually a line of poetry to read. She's actually a poet for National Poetry Day. And then I'm going to press Control and A or Command and A, depending on what you're working on, and then go to alignment over here and left align. I'm going to left align it. Now that might change depending on what image I use, but for now, let me just pop it in the corner here. Bit of a boring piece of text, but hey, that's okay. Now, what am I going to do here? Well, first thing I'm going to do is going to go to elements, and I'm going to go to design assets. Now, the thing about design assets is they're all made by kind of professional sort of illustrator type people who, have spent a lot of time doing stuff. So you could go to autumn in there. And what have you got? Well, you've got all sorts of stuff in there. But actually, maybe you would want to go to something like backgrounds and see what's in there as well. Again, lots of different things made by lots of creative people. So what am I looking for here? I mean, I'm looking for like a scene. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like an autumnal scene. So maybe something like, this one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of American, I suppose, because of that barn, would you say?
Yeah, it definitely is a wee bit American.
Yeah, it is a wee bit American. But scroll through and see what you find. There was one that I found, but anyway, you can go through. There's all sorts of design assets in there, but again, these tend to be like individual bits. But scroll through and see what you find. But I'm all right with that one, and that's quite cool for now. Now, what I'll do is I will. Do you know what? I'll let people do that themselves, get a background in, get their text in, and we'll nip over to Nicole's and see what she's got going on to start hers off as well.
Groovy. So yeah, exact same thing that you said. I'm just going to go straight down to the bottom here and go to the plus. And my options now are like I can start from there's those design assets that we were talking about. So if I wanted to go straight from there, do you know what? I'm probably happy with going with. You can choose any of these. Some posters, some business cards, collages.
Let me just close the door to the incredibly loud drill.
Incredibly loud drill. I'm gonna go with a poster. So I'm just gonna go across the top and I find poster, and I'm gonna click onto that. And see, mine's turned out vertical, but I actually agree with Dom. A horizontal one, a landscape one would work better for me, and I can do that just at the very bottom. I can click resize.
It's an odd way that they kind of go in different ways, isn't it? Sometimes I think you should just be able to go in with choosing your size first.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that I can see, like what's the exact size that you need for certain platforms, but I can scroll the whole way along and I can find that 16:9 that Dom mentioned was really good for videos. I can just click that and now I've got one. And again, all those skills that we know, like pinch to zoom, so I can just zoom in and out with my finger and thumb. And now I also need that wonderful page here. So whenever I was over here, you click the autumn haikus. I have them. And I'll choose another one. So I'll hold down on your first word from the poem that you want. And you'll see these 2 little blue dots. So the bottom blue dot, I'm going to drag down over the entire haiku, tap copy, and then I can swipe the bottom of my screen to go back in. Or if you have an older iPad, you might have to click the home button and open the app again, but it should take you back to where you left off. So I have some text in there. You can just about see it. It's very, very faint.
Yeah, I can see that.
You can see it says double tap to edit text. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to double tap. And I don't need that one. So I'm just going to delete it and then tap in that space and I get the paste button. So if you don't see paste there, if you don't have that option, you do have paste here right above the letter Q.
Right, yeah.
You could paste it in there as well. I just know some iPads are, different iOSs have different have different options there. And I also agree, let's separate Eloise Guthrie from the rest of the font there. And now I can start to go in and resize and change the color for now, just because I think it's very light for me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need my background too. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to tap done first to say I'm finished editing all of that text. I want to add in, well, I can go to these design assets that Dawn was talking about. I can also go into Adobe Stock. I can go into backgrounds. And just have a little search in all of them for one. Now mine was about wind, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, do I want to search autumn wind? Let's see. Ooh, okay, those are super realistic. There's some nice leaves.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like a photo. You could go for a pattern background, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, just autumnal colors.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened there. Yeah, you could definitely do that. I'm going to have a little look in design assets too. I'm curious.
Yeah, see what you got there.
There's going to be individual.
Yeah, I think maybe the wind might be giving you less options. Maybe if you delete that. Well, no, it's still the same sort of thing, really.
Again, this is difference with the iPad version.
Yeah.
Your version, you will have different updated that I don't have just yet. But you know what?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with that like just an autumnal background colors. You know, just one of these really nice.
Yeah,
nice
they're cool. It's a different style of doing things, and actually might be better for when you actually put on like extra things on top of it.
Yeah, so because I'm going to put stuff on top of it, I'm going to pin this to the background. I don't really want to move the background. I just want to pin it into the back there. There we are.
Cool. Very nice. Right, let me switch over while because Nicole's going to play around with that text, and I'm going to do exactly the same here as well. So what I'm kind of wanting is I'm going to select this text here, and you can do different things with it. I mean, dynamic is quite an interesting one. You know, it kind of makes everything just look a little bit funkier. So, you know, if you want that, that's cool. But otherwise, you can undo, and I'll press undo again. And with that text selected there, I could go to recommended fonts and just see if there's something else. I mean, that's kind of nice, actually. What it is, I'll tell you what it is doing is it's making everything in that font. And actually, I want to change Angela Heffer, so I'm gonna select that, go to my fonts, and maybe have the poem in italics, and then maybe, you know, something like that, which is a little bit, you know, a little bit more straight laced. Make it bold, maybe, and even maybe bring the size down. Now, with this whole box here, I can also do things like, you know, if I'm thinking, do you know what, the text isn't that readable in places, I can do things like put a shadow on it and then change that shadow to like a white, and that just kind of lifts it off the page a bit. That's one. You can do a smooth version of that. There's the classic version. So any of those will go, lift. Yeah, maybe. Or, you know, you can also do things like put a shape behind it. And I quite like that, actually. That's it. I mean, the combination of that and the shadow is maybe a bit much. So maybe I'll go in and take the shadow and turn it off to none. And then I've just got the kind of the box behind it, in which case I might go to that shape, the shape fill, go to white, or maybe like a cream. Not sure like any of those, actually. Maybe I'll go back to what it was, but actually change the shape opacity. And that'll just mean that you can see through it. So you can still see some of the picture behind, some of the detail behind, but it just makes it lift off the page ever so slightly. And then you like that? That works?
Yeah, I like the opacity.
Yeah, bring the opacity down. Yeah, exactly that. So, and then I'll do one more thing before I pass it over to Nicole, because you need to play around with your text as well. But in the design assets, I might go for something like birds, because I'm looking at this sky and thinking it's kind of like a birdless sky, but there's loads of trees. You always see birds. So let's get some birds in there. So design assets, you've got this big flock of birds here, and it puts it in, and you can stretch it out. And you might be thinking, well, you know, there's quite a lot of birds there. Maybe that's a bit not that realistic. We'll have some of them off the page. That's all right. You don't need to have all of them on there. Have some of them off the page. It's just a little flock that might be sitting in on top of the windmill or something. The windmill started to move and they flew off. That's cool. And then what other things can I put on? I thought this one was cool, and I found this one. It was it child walking, something like that. And yeah, I saw this and I thought, oh, that's cool. Go for like an autumn walk, stick that one in, and it already has no background on it, which is nice. Now, obviously, that's a bit big, so you want to maybe bring that down, but it just helps you add like more detail into your scene. And also, I can flip them around if I'm thinking they're going to be walking this way, still a bit big. So you want to look at the perspective between, whatever else is on your page if you've got other objects on there. But there you go. It's just like brought that to life a bit with some birds. And then I think it's like a father and son just walking through the fields. And then let's go to Nicole and see what she's doing.
Oh, I love it. Do you see the difference between how action-packed yours is? And I'm just getting started. So
yeah, you got lots of things to do now.
Yeah, I've got a lot to add in. So I'm just going to tick done that I'm done with the font for now. I was experimenting with the shapes as well as the background, and I went to this banner for the poet, for example. So I'm gonna now need to add in some of I've got trees dancing to an unheard song, so I need some trees in here.
Yeah, so you could do some trees and some musical notes and things like that.
Oh yes. So I'm actually going to go into Adobe stock here, and I'm going to find some trees. And we'll get lots of
very cool.
This one looks like it's doing a wee funky sideways dance.
Yeah, that's a good dancer.
Just going to click a few that I like, and you'll notice that I'm choosing ones that have quite plain backgrounds because
okay, so you're going to do, and every time you click one, it goes up the top, doesn't it? Add 3, add 4, you're on now.
So I just wait for it to buffer, really. I'm just waiting for that to finish buffering, and then when the ad turns blue, I can add all of them in, and this time I do want to move them freely because I want to be able to manipulate them loads.
Yeah. So if you're on a Chromebook here, you can be, or a desktop or laptop, you can be doing the same thing as Nicole's doing, adding in those things. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah. So now I'm just clicking each one. Now it doesn't look very good like this. So the awesome thing that we have is remove background. And that works really well, especially when there's a high contrast difference between the subject and the background. So you'll see that's tidying up quite good, especially for how intricate some of the space in between leaves are. So I'm expecting white.
It's done quite well there for sure.
Yeah, it definitely has. So I can
have a mini little forest here, haven't you?
Yeah, I can resize some of them as well. I can change the order if I wanted some of them to have to be at the foreground and some in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually happy enough with the order that it's given me. And then I think the wind and the music notes is brilliant. So I'm actually going to see if there's music notes within shapes.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I'm going to find music notes. The other great thing, friends, that there's loads here. There's so many I could choose. And again, I just have and I can tap as many as I would like to drop in, and it will put them all in for me. I like that one, and I like that one. I can add them all in, and now I can change the color.
Cool.
So the good thing is that it has saved the colors that I've used so far. So I've got that like rich red.
Yeah. So you can keep that kind of autumnal theme.
Yeah. And then this is just like they're subtly in the background. It's not like the big bold ones. These are just part of the autumn wind.
Yeah, very cool.
And then I can get that one to be yellow too. And I'll pop it in there. I kind of want them to be a little bit subtle. I don't want them to stand out too much. This is almost your birds.
Yeah.
There we go. So I'm going to need to fill something over here in this space. So might go back to my poem, like the wind. So I might have something over here.
Yeah. Or you could put the author's name down there, maybe. Take it away.
I could, yeah.
Yeah. Lots of things to play with. Right. Let's have a quick look here. So, I mean, I kept this kind of simple, really. I mean, what else can I do here? I can, I did look for things like, go into elements and you can do things like fox. I don't know why I always think of fox as being in like an autumnal kind of creature, but you know, you can stick them in wherever you like. You know, put a fox in, nice. So you can just build up little pictures and, you know, make it really subtle. And actually, you can't really tell whether that's a, you know, part of the original drawing or whether it's something that you've done on top, whatever that is. Now, I might just do, what have we got? We're on 25 minutes here. I might just do like another version, because what I wanted to show you as well is you can actually add a new page here and do same size. Can you do that on the iPad app?
Yes, yeah, I can duplicate it. And
Yeah. So you could add a new page, same size, and then you get this coming in as well. So, you know, I could go, you know, back to this tab, for example, and then the one I did before was raindrops on the roof, golden leaves crunching underfoot. So if I go to this one as well, I can put my text in. So just showing the process again of how simple it should be. Add your text. I put it in there. I'm going to put my space in here. Now, obviously, this is way too big. So I'm going to reduce this right down. Keep on reducing. And then, you know, keep on moving it into the right place. Keep on reducing. Stretch out the box. So, you know, that sort of thing takes time. You can change the alignment to make it go on the left-hand side. Maybe this one will go on the right-hand side, right align actually. And then, you know, bring it down here, play with what, you know, in terms of what kind of font you need and stuff like that. And then, you know, all we've done here, both Nicole and I, is then you go into like something like photos or something like that, or Adobe stock as it's called. And then what did I put? I think I put rain. What did I put? Rainfall window, something like that. And oh, this is a good one. This is a nice one. I hadn't seen that before. Oh, and here's another one as well. Every time I search it, it seems to be slightly different. So, you know, you can put that one in, and on the iPad, it's, you know, add it to background. But here you might, but you don't have to do that on the Chromebook or the laptop or desktop. But what you will see here is now the text is behind this photo. So you're going to make sure you're playing with your layer stack here. You see the way when I bring it down, this text pops on the top. And, you know, other options, and rather than putting a shape on something, you could actually put an outline, like a white outline on the text, and then increase the outline thickness. That's our way of doing it. I'm not sure it's as good, maybe, as putting a little shape on it. I know really the shape sometimes does feel quite nice.
Yeah, it really makes it pop.
Yeah, but, you know, like one of the things that Nicole did really well before was she was making sure that her colors were all kind of autumnal. So maybe I'll go for a slightly sort of browny, orangey yellow type thing there. So that kind of goes in quite nicely. And one of the things you can do is, you know, you can add in, just because I've gone for a photo, for example, doesn't mean I couldn't go to elements, design assets, and look for a book. And it could be that, you know, I put, try and find, you know, it says snuggle with a book, you see. So maybe I'll try and get one that looks like this young child could be holding. I need to find something which is in the right kind of orientation. Not really finding too much. Maybe that one up the top might be the best. Stick that in and then kind of bring it up a bit. And you see these buttons down here, you can flip things. So that's kind of better. And I could just like pretend that was kind of sitting in her lap. Is it boy? Could be boy. Yeah, but you can just play around with it. And what I also might do is like keep stretching out the photo quite a lot, so it can kind of go to the side here. And then, you know, you zoom right in, and then you can kind of have the book in the lap, and then you can't really see what the hands are doing particularly. So it might be that one of them's, you know, holding the book at the bottom, and that's kind of nice. And then also one of the things I quite like doing on the other one was putting a little bobble hat on.
Cute.
So you can still see my screen, yeah?
Yeah, it's like it is getting into hats and scarf season, so that's a good idea.
Yeah. So here you could put hats, and here, and there was a bobble hat somewhere. Put a Santa hat on, I guess. But I'm looking for more of a bobble hat, really. I'm not really. Oh, that's quite cool. Like that. You can play around with it. I mean, that looks like an elf hat to me, but but hey, it looks cozy. And then, you know, just have a little bit of fun with it and see where you get. And I think the next thing to do, this is looking ridiculous. Why not? We like a bit of ridiculous things. So when you've got things like that, you know, this is the time where you can download it. So here, you know, I've got 2 pages in mind now. I've got page 1, add a title. So this could be Angela Heffer, for example, give it the author's name. And then I could go to page 2, and this might be Anne Southall. So just ways to keep your work a bit more organized so you don't forget things. But then you can always download. You can do the selected page or all pages. I'm going to do selected page, download it as an image. There we go. But you can also share it as well. And I'll pass it over to Nicole in a second. She'll show you how to share it as well. So you just click the share button, publish to web, unless you're doing Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, of course, publish to web, give it a name, publish the link. See, and I can also select how many of those pages go in there. So I'll just do maybe the first one. Okay. Right. Nicole, could you take control of the screen yourself? Is that all right?
Yes, please.
Good stuff.
So just a couple of things I wanted to show before I save my work was, again, I was kind of focusing on the autumnal colors.
Oh,
as a
nice.
See the little bit of wind?
Yeah.
So, well, the grey is kind of not autumnal. I mean, it could link with the wind, but one thing that I like doing is like the little color picker. Then what I can do with, oh, I did it too soon. That again is you can see this ring then that's going around the color picker is the color that it's selected on. So I could choose one of the green. Probably need quite a lightish green. So I just scroll around to find it. And I'm like, that's pretty close to what I want, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because there are still green leaves in autumn. So that could still work for me. And then the same thing for me if I want to save my work. I can download it, the first button there, I can download and save it to my camera roll, done. And then I can go and share it wherever I want. Or I do have the share button at the top, which allows me to, again, save it as an image. Or because I've only got a 1-page template or 1-page project, I can copy a link and go post it elsewhere. What I've learned and noticed is that when you have more than 1 pages on the iPad app, the copy link button isn't there.
Right.
But we have it for now if I have 1 page, because I wasn't as speedy as Dom. I didn't get onto a 2nd page. So I can copy that link. That'll prepare my project, and it'll just take a wee minute to work in the background because, again, I've got text, I've got assets, I've got photos and shapes. Ta-da! Done.
Very cool. Very cool. So, you know, if you need time to, you know, complete your little haikus there, make them into these visual masterpieces like Nicole's, then, you know, you can pause this now. That's absolutely fine. And we're going to move on to actually taking those and making them into a video. So it's quite simple, really. But if you need more time to do that, please do spend the time doing that now and pause us because we'll move on to how to put those into a video now. Okie dokie. Right. So I tell you one thing that is really cool about, you know, naming things like these little pages here is that when you then download things, where are my downloads? You see it's downloaded. Can you see that? Oh, no, you can't. Right, because I'm just sharing a tab. But it is actually, it downloads them with that file name. And that's really one of the reasons. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we say, you know, name your project at the start, because if it's called Untitled, you'll never find it again. I know that from bits of experience every single day. And then also, you know, you can name your individual pages. This one's Angela Heffer and this one's Anne Southall. And I changed the beanie there because I thought that was better. So, right, I've got those downloaded on my machine.
Otherwise, it would just be called number 1, number 2, wouldn't it?
Exactly that. And you wouldn't know what it was. So now the experience with video is slightly different between these two, but you know, those who are using an iPad, you do need to get an idea of what's coming down the line, because the iPad app is going to change and you're going to be able to do all of these things too. So I'll keep it pretty simple on my video because everyone who's got the new video version is learning, and I'll show you how, you know, you can make something similarly to how you would have made it in the previous Adobe Express video setup. Right. But to get started, it's the same as always. Press the plus, and then, you know, suggested things here. Let's go video. Now you'll see that this is 1920 by 1080, which is 16 by 9.
Yeah, all that maths,
All
ratios.
that maths. That's another word I actually love. Another maths.
Maths.
Yeah, maths. That's a good one. Yeah. So there we go. Video. Put it in there. And what you'll see here is that it is kind of slightly different, but it's not hugely different. It's not hugely different. But let's, you know, make sure we do best practice. Let's give our project a title. So I'm going to call it Autumn Haikus Video. Okay. And what we're going to do here is we're going to show how you can just pull an image in, which is what you always used to do with the old Express video, and then, you know, put a voiceover on top. It just looks slightly different. Down the bottom here, it looks slightly different because before it was much more simple. You just kind of like press the plus, you've got a scene, you're ready to go. But it's not that different. There's just a few subtle differences, which we'll have a look at. So maybe, Nicole, you could maybe get us started on video on the iPad. So we're all kind of there in the same place. That all good?
Yeah, so we go in here to Spark Video. So you will have that on the email as well from earlier on today for where to go and download that, because as Don says, excitingly, it's going to be getting a big update for Adobe Express.
Indeed.
So this is the countdown for the amount of times left for dear old Spark Video. So here's what we're doing in the meantime. We don't need any of these inspirations. Like, we've got all the inspiration inside our heads. So we're just going to go straight to the plus. And I just skip all of this. So I just skip the editor, and so that I can go straight and create something from scratch.
Cool. Right. So we're kind of all in the same place now. And what I'm going to do is just show you really simply how you would create something here. So here I'm going to go to Media, Upload from Device. Now this is kind of the same on the iPad. You know, you would just, you know, add in an image, and you've got them downloaded from Challenge 1 here. So I'll put my first haiku in there, and you'll see it goes straight in there. Now, what you can do is there's a couple of things you can do. You can do set as page background. Boom, it goes straight in there, and it's the perfect size because we chose 16 by 9, and this is 16 by 9. But if I detach it from the page background, it'll put it in there. Now, you can just put it in the top left or top right or whatever, and then just stretch it out until it kind of clicks into place there. Now, the difference with this new one is to add your voiceover, there used to be like a big button in the center, and you would press that and hold it, and you would create your voiceover. But here you can go over to audio, and you've got two different things. You can upload audio from device. Well, actually got three different things. You can record your voiceover, so it's just in a different place, really. And then you can also put some acoustic music on there. Well, doesn't have to be acoustic, but anything you like. Again, let me just go back and get my screen up and running again. There we go. Right. So what do I have to do here? If I want to record voiceover, so I could record the voiceover to this, let's do it. Allow the microphone. Start recording. She calls us outside to tumbling crunchy leaves. She's here. Autumn's here. Right. Now what you'll see now is this is a bit sort of different. You will have your voiceover on the bottom, and what would have happened in the old one is that this would have just stretched out until it got to the end of your voiceover. But now I have to do that manually because you've got more control. Mm-hmm. And I'll stick that right to the end. And then the other thing I'll do before I give it back to Nicole is I'll go to media again, stay in audio, and this time I want to find like what am I going to search for? Something like ambience. I'm going to search for an ambient track to put on the background. So now you can choose a track. Let's see what I've got. Wasn't that's the one. That's the beat I'm looking for. And now you can see it's down there. You've got your voiceover, but you've also got an ambient lo-fi beat. So now what I'm going to do with that is bring the volume down. You can see over here, so it doesn't like kind of blast over my voiceover, and then I can play. She calls us outside the tumbling crunchy leaves. She's here. Autumn's here. Nice. And that cool.
Nice delivery.
Yeah, in the house. I like it. Right.
Don Trainer is the postman. He always delivers.
Love that. Right. Let's get that simple kind of version going there.
Yeah. So again, just straight away, the option in front of me is to add something. So let me go back a step here. So I add, and you might come up onto video, maybe text or photos. So in photos, you might be able to find where it is. I just put mine into my favorites. All my favorite things. Look, there's us from the OG days.
Nice.
So I've got my photo added in. It's now my background. And again, like you'll maybe be familiar with this one, but it's really obviously in front of us how to put in the voiceover, because currently my slide only lasts for 2 seconds, which is nowhere near long enough. But when I hold down on this, in the roaring wind, trees dance to an unheard song and sway to the tune. And now it has automatically 8 seconds. Like that. Boom.
Smashed it.
Now, my option for music and to put in something in the background is in the top right-hand corner. You see the little music symbol? And this, Dom, what's my top tip for loads of sound playing in the classroom? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, get it over.
Yeah.
Get it over.
This is perfect now because it's autumn, winter season's coming upon us.
Yeah, get that jacket off your peg.
Yeah, we all have our big coats in. So you put the hood on the back of your head and then you put the rest of the coat over the top of your device and kind of have like a little recording booth. It works a little bit better, teachers, I promise, than just having all the sound playing if you don't have headphones.
For sure.
So I've got genres of music that I can choose from, like these little categories. So happy, playful, relaxed, so maybe thoughtful. Like a stroll in Central Park could maybe be the one for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Now, my problem is the way I'm sharing my screen is you'll not be able to hear my sound, but I know it'll need to be notched down a little bit.
You can see that slide on the bottom right there.
Yeah, make sure it doesn't drown me out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I can go and play it, or I can play just this slide if I hit this play. Or if I want to play...
and then you'll be able to hear that, but we can't hear that. That's fine. Cool. Yeah. So that's a dead easy way for you to take your haikus and you can kind of put them in, and I can do it again here. Now what you'll see here is that I've got like an extra sort of scene in here, which is kind of doesn't know what's going on here. Now you could sort of press the 3 dots and delete that scene, but actually you don't really need to, because you could go over to media, go to photos and upload from device. And now the second one, and Southall, for example, put it in there. And then again, I can put it in the top right or set as page background. And then it goes straight in there. Now my soundtrack is automatically going all the way to the end, which is fine. But now I want to do another voiceover here. So the main difference here is that you've got this kind of playhead, and this is called scrubbing now. Scrub the playhead to where you want it to start. And I want it to start there, and it snaps, and it'll just snap there, you see. And now I can go over to media and go to audio, record voiceover. Let's do that. Raindrops on the roof, golden leaves crunching underfoot, snuggle with a book. There we go. And you see, it kind of puts in these default scenes. So this is one of the things you've got to get used to. Kind of puts in these default scenes, but I'm just going to grab the 3 dots. I'm going to delete the scene, and then maybe, yeah, there we go. You can see my voiceover is the bottom one there. So I'm going to make sure that this just goes over the bottom of that. And what it'll do is the soundtrack will automatically kind of adjust itself. So now I'm going to go from 1. Autumn's here. Raindrops on the roof, golden leaves crunching underfoot, snuggle with a book. Nice. Right, and then one last thing before I flip it over to Nicole. I can press the plus, and I can do add a transition, and I can dissolve. I think I'll dissolve, and you can preview it. You see, just dissolves, and you can increase the duration of that. That's a really nice feature that you iPadders will be getting soon enough towards, just before Christmas. It's going to be nice, and there's already more transitions in there. That was a surprise to me to see 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I've only seen dissolve in there, but I saw you had 2 extra cheeky ones. So
yeah,
exciting.
so there's all sorts of new stuff going on. So it's definitely worth persevering, because by the end of the year you will be getting all of this stuff. Let's see how you can do it.
Unreal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little throwback to the way we used to do in the OG sessions, our videos. I'm going to copy this one that I had from earlier on from that page full of goodies. And I'm going to add in a new scene, because I only made 1 background, but I actually want to do 2 poems, for example, on this.
Right.
So now
you could do it from scratch, couldn't you?
Yeah, I'm just going to do it from scratch, basically. So I can choose my layout. I can do a split screen. We love a split screen here, don't we?
Yeah, we do love a split screen.
We're big fans of split screens.
Yeah.
And I could maybe search for one, find a free one on Adobe. Now this one was about spider webs. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Dogs. So I could maybe put in some. Woohoo! Some of them are very
nice. Oh, there's some nice ones there with the orangey background.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking at. I was like, that looks quite good.
Yeah, very autumnal.
I could add that one in, and then I can go and add in some text for this side. And again, I just have this paste button here that I can tap, and it adds it in. Now, blue isn't really an autumnal color, so I'm going to need to change that up. And the other thing I need to change is I want some of it to be on the same line, just to really highlight the haiku nature. So I can make that smaller.
Yeah, and then when you actually click off it, it does kind of expand out a bit, which is good.
Yeah. And again, I'm going to put in just a little space before I get to the poet's name. And then the last thing I'm going to do is go up to my theme, and let me see, is there a nice autumnal one within the flares? Let me mix up some colors.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Now, the really cool thing that you have as well is not only do you have 5 color choices here, but you've also got like this remix button.
Yeah.
So now I've got another option.
Yeah.
Mode option. So I've actually got
that's nice.
15 color options per theme.
And actually, if you flip that around as well, that split layout, it will give you a slightly different kind of version of it as well.
So at
little
the top
double arrow.
Boom.
Ooh.
That's nice. I just need to drop my text down smaller again, just to keep happy with that. And then I can do my audio all over again. So spider webs stroke me in the expanding darkness of morning dog walks. And there's the spider webs. Done.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
this is nice. I like how you're doing that. I mean, it is very, very simple, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite intuitive as well. The more you practice this, the more ready you'll be for the new updates that are coming as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So let's have a quick look at the kind of things that are going on here. Let's check things like the dissolve that we've got in between scenes. She calls us outside, the tumbling crunchy leaves. She's here. Autumn's here. Dissolve. Ooh. Raindrops on the roof, golden leaves crunching underfoot. Snuggle with a book. Right. So what we could do here is, one of the things I wanted to show as well is what Nicole and I have been doing with these haikus is we've been doing all 3 lines in one scene. You don't have to do it like that. So let me just go to this tab here. So I'll do the spiderwebs one as well, I think. So we got spiderwebs stroke me. Let's take that first bit and then go back here. Now, so I could add a scene. And this, it is the same on both of them. It's the same principle. And here I'll go to photos. I mean, I could go to videos here. I mean, I did put a link in here. Let's have a look down here. I did put a link down here to a free autumn video. So if you're on an iPad, you can click something like that one. And then there's a really cool little video. Oh, let me share this tab instead. Sorry, it's going to go through here. a really cool little video like that is a great background which you can stick in. That is absolutely fine to use, and you got a free download button there and things like that. But if you're in the if you're on the desktop, you can go here and go to videos, and you could go to something like spider web. Oh, I should spell it right. Spider web. And then wow, all sorts of mad stuff. So maybe this one. Ha! Madness. And I'm gonna wait and see what that's like. And before I play it, I'll go to text, add my text, paste it in there, and I want to get all of this on one line, so I'm gonna make sure it's all highlighted, and I can just use that until it goes down. Now, one of the things I could do is I've got an easy button here, which is dynamic. That doesn't really doing that much for me, to be fair. Maybe I'll change it there. Go to recommended fonts. What have I got? Yeah, something that's a bit more fun. That kind of feels spidery. And then maybe I can, put up to the side and maybe go back to my text here. Come out of recommended. Come on. There we go. I could maybe put an outline on this one, a white one as well, to kind of just lift it off a bit. And what you'll see down here is the soundtrack. And this is the same on the iPad app, is that the soundtrack is continuing right the way through by default. Now you can change that. You can split it and put something else in there by double clicking or right clicking in there. But just for the purposes of learning how to use video, we'll just keep it so that the soundtrack goes all the way through. And here you can go to media again. You can go to audio. You can go to record voiceover. Spiderwebs, stroke me. There we go. And now that you've got that, right, you can scroll along here, and then I can kind of right click there. I can split it. And then this section here, I can just delete it. And then I'll go to my next line, which is in the expanding darkness of morning dog walks. And maybe I'll do those two together. Maybe that's what I'll do. So here it's just add a scene. And you see the soundtrack carries itself on again. But now I'm at the start of my kind of next section, and I can add in some media here. Maybe go to videos and go to something like dog walking, something like that. This is like expanding darkness, kind of like that. What do you think, Nicole?
Oh, it's perfect. Love it.
Yeah, you go to some text, add some text, add it in. Now this is proving to be problematic, isn't it? Because the fill color on this is black. Let's turn it into white. Let's look at some recommended things. Let's have a look. Come on, Phil. Maybe something like this one. Yeah, like that. And then bring it down, and then do things like select it. I might left align it. Well, actually, I might right align it and put it into the top right there, something like that. I mean, it is quite dark, but that's what it is talking about. And then again, record your voiceover. I'll switch back over to Nicole in a sec so she can do some more. Let me finish this one off. In the expanding darkness of morning dog walks. And I love that, how the person comes in as soon as it says morning dog walks. I think that works really, really nicely. So let me just play from here. Let's see, we got play here. Spiderwebs, stroke me. In the expanding darkness of morning dog walks. Very cool. And then I've got work to do in terms of, splitting that and then get rid of that bit. And then you can put some dissolves in, add transitions. You can see the slides and the dissolves and stuff like that. Have a little play around with that. Right, Nicole, can you take back control for a sec?
Yeah. Okay. So for my one now, my add scene is just this plus on the far right-hand side. So I'm just going to tap that, and I've got a new scene in. So I'm going to do the same thing that Dom just did, which was take it kind of line by line. So I'm going to go to my layout options, and this time I'm going to choose a caption so I can have something as the background and have a little caption underneath, which will be one line of the poem.
Nice.
And when I tap the plus in the middle, I do have that option for video or photos. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to show you how you would download these videos that Dom has shared with us. So let me just hit back here and take you through the steps. So challenge 2, free autumn video, just tap on that button. It's going to bring you to this website, and you'll see the option at the top for a free download. Just click your free download, and then a pop-up will come up just confirming that you want to download it, and you do. So just click download again. Now up here, I can see that the download is downloading. But whenever that's finished and completed, you'll be able to tell it kind of did that little push button.
Nice.
When I click on that, I open up the download that I've just got, and I'm going to save it to my device. So I'm going to tap the share button.
There's an extra little step there, isn't there?
There's an extra step, yeah. So I have to save it to my device because right now it's just sitting in my downloads folder. So I have to save it, tap the share button, and then go down to save video. And that will now pop up that it's been saved to my camera roll, or that will have done it anyway. And I can see like there's a little bit of buffering going on there beside my Wi-Fi signal.
Okay.
But that I can come out of this. That's it done. And I can just leave it there. And I'm going to swipe back into Adobe. And actually, do you know what I need is my next line of my haikus. So nature takes a sigh, the air lets out a deep breath, we reach for blankets. Lovely. So nature takes a sigh. I'm going to copy that one. And in my videos now, I can have a hunt for, where's the new one, the pixels one, which is normally towards the very bottom. I'll tell you why it's normally towards the very bottom is because someone made this video years ago and they uploaded it to that site, whereas your videos come in based in the order you them. So you probably need to go to the very bottom, and there I can see it.
Yeah, I've never understood why that happens like that. So that's because it was made, it goes in what order it was made. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so sometimes you see like if you go into the info of the video, it'll say like June 2012 or like years ago. So that's why it sends it back that far. Now, a really cool thing that I like is, say for example, like the dog walking video, like obviously this one is leaves the whole time, but say I had the dog walking video, I could choose which section of the video I wanted it to use. But I'm quite happy with, I can try and extend it out if I wanted. I'm quite happy with that bit that I've got. So I'm just going to say done. And now I can go into the plus and I can paste in my first line. And yeah, that stands out because I was going to say I need to change the way that my theme is, but that's perfect.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I can see the leaves, the nature taking a sigh.
Yeah, it's nice that.
Yeah, I can go on then and do the next part of my line, which is the air lets out a deep breath. So, and again, like I could maybe just keep editing. I could maybe just put in that same video again, but a different part of it. So in my layout, I'm going back to my caption, and I want to choose from my videos, which was this one. Or actually, I see I've got one here of a dandelion. I wonder, does the dandelion? Yeah.
Nice.
I've got one from before. Nature taking out a deep breath.
That's a really good idea. We were doing those in the park this weekend.
Hey, love it. So that might be the one for me.
Yeah.
I just happen to have that already. It was obviously from something I was doing for springtime.
Yeah.
But it works. It works.
That's really cool.
Yeah, there's nature letting out the deep breath.
Nice.
And then the last one is reach for blankets. Now I don't have a video of reach for blankets, so I can just add in picture from the free Adobe stock library. So I can go to photos. Instead of my spider webs, I now need blankets. And too cute.
Very cool.
Look at this doggo all snugged in. Quite like that one. Or there's another one. I like that.
Very cool.
He's got an autumnal blanket as well. So I need the last line, we reach for blankets. And then once I've got that all done, I can now go and add in all my audio, which is really simple. If I don't like an audio piece that I've recorded, say for example, nature takes a sigh, and I was like, oh wait, I've kind of forgot it. I can just hold re-record.
Yeah.
So nature takes a sigh, and because I'm recording and there's a video playing, I kind of need to remember my line a little bit. So nature takes a sigh, nature takes a sigh. Nature takes a sigh. Boom, it's
Very
in.
cool. Yeah. Easy peasy.
That's it. Done. So
Yeah.
I can just keep finishing my video off like that. And now I've got my own work. I've got straight out of Adobe Spark Video. I've got videos
Line by line.
imported in line by line. Like there's so many options there for you to get creative with.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. So don't forget, you know, if you're ever gonna, if you need to, probably the first thing to do is to go to share. There, you can publish to web, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams. So you just publish to web. Make sure it's got a name up here, and you can publish the link. Now that might take maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. So be aware of that. But if you ever need to, you can scrub through and like see what's going on here with like things like transitions. You can check it. Think about things like the level of music compared to your voiceover. Make sure you don't get drowned out. That is something you definitely need to do, and I kind of forget to do all the time. Nicole was doing really good things with themes. Go and look at your colors in your themes. Not so relevant when you're using this new kind of version. But what I would say there is you need to do things like, you know, check that your background, you know, behind your text is there. You know, make sure that that's the right color to suit your theme, that kind of thing. And then, you know, once it's gone through all those publishing things, which will be rendering your video and flatten it down like a pancake so that you can send it out to people. It'll give you a little link that you can then push out wherever you want, or you can press download as well. But I'm not going to do that now because it's going to take over my screen. Right. That is that. Nicole, how did you find it?
I loved it. Can I show very quickly how to save with the iPad?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
I mean, you can't really go wrong. It's share in the top corner, and you save it to your camera roll if you want, or you can paste that link. And again, the same thing that Dom had. It's rendering, so it'll take a little while. So just be patient with it, because it's saving all of your gorgeous audio, the music and text and videos and photos. So yeah, it packs a punch in such a simple little editing tool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really look forward to when the iPad app catches up and we'll be able to just do all the same things together. That'd be great. But that was a simple one. You know, keep it simple with video, because that's the most effective thing. The more things you put on there, the more crazy it looks. So, you know, definitely do keep it simple. I've definitely made some very crazy videos in my own time. Right. Well, thank you very much. As always, there will be a link sent out to all the teachers. Once you've completed both of your challenges, do email me away and get yourself some free swag and get your next session booked in. What's the next one we've got coming on? We've got National Poetry Day again.
Yeah, because that's the official National Poetry Day is tomorrow. So why not go and do this challenge with other classes tomorrow and get some of that VIP swag from Dom?
That's an excellent idea. And then the one after that, let me just have a quick look. I can't even remember. Adobe.
The World Mental Health Day and Homelessness Week.
Oh, yeah. You see, Nicole's so on the ball. She's so on the ball. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. We have got...
I just put them all into my lesson plans. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. Mental Health Day. Got another Black History Month coming up. We've got Recycling Week, and we've got Halloween too. Whoa, that's a wrap. Thank you very much, everybody. It was a pleasure. Nicole signing off with a piece of advice for us all.
Oh no, you sprung that on me. I wasn't ready. Be kind. There we are.
There you go. That'll do.